It's a big day for Louisville fans. The Cardinal football team will have its first game with head coach Jeff Brohm.
Kickoff is at 7:30 in hot Atlanta against Georgia Tech.
WDRB's Rick Bozich and Eric Crawford are in Atlanta to cover the game. They join us live. The Brohm era starts tonight. Louisville's excited. Gentlemen, tell us about the players that you are watching who need to make some big plays tonight for the Cards to win.
Starting, I'm going with number one. That's Jamari Thrash. He's a slot receiver. He might be the fastest guy on the team. Very productive player last year at Georgia State. Averaged more than 17 yards a reception. Brohm's usually a big tight end guy. The tight end game room isn't strong this year. I look for Jamari Thrash to be all over the field.
Yeah, and I'm looking at a running back who's really not just going to be a running back. Jawar Jordan really broke out in the last half of last season. He had 100 yards rushing in 4 of their last 5 games. And the way Jeff Brohm likes to use these running backs, he's going to line up in the backfield, but he may split out wide. We're going to see them throw him the ball a lot. I think he's going to be a do-everything kind of guy for Louisville. And there's plenty of guys we're going to watch because so many new players. I want freshman Stanquan Clark, a linebacker. I want to see, A, does he get on the field? B, does how he play? So a lot of things to watch.
Eric, we also just learned this morning that the ACC voted to invite Stanford, Cal, SMU to the conference. So how do you think that it's going to impact U of L?
Well, it's going to be a lot more travel costs. I mean, it's going to be a lot. Those are not short trips. Really, the sports that I look at, I know that everybody talks about football and we're all focused on football, but the ones I really look at are women's basketball, where Stanford is a national power, volleyball, where Stanford's a national power. They're coming to the KFC Yum Center here in a couple of weeks to play Louisville's number 3 ranked volleyball team. So there's a lot of impact for a lot of sports at Louisville. And whatever the case, as Rick has said often, we don't really think this is the final destination for anybody.
Yeah, it's up to 18 teams in 12 different states and 3 time zones now. You got trips of over 3,000 miles for some schools, like from Miami or Boston to the Bay Area. I agree with what Eric said in terms of the Olympic sports like swimming, track, all those soccer, some of those sports. Stanford and Cal are very good in all those sports, so Louisville's going to have to up its game. My biggest weight, though, is to see Clemson and Florida State are the 2 teams that have complained the most about the state of the ACC. They were against this. They got overruled. I'll be looking to see how they handle teams coming in that they didn't want in the league.
Now,
all right, go ahead.
Let me ask you this. Staying on that topic with the ACC, I believe each team gets about $30 million. Now that we're adding more teams to that one pot of money, does that mean U of L will get less money, less than that $30 million? How does that work?
Well, they'll get a little bit more. I don't know if it'll be a lot more. Stanford and Cal are coming in at a huge discount. They're only going to take a 30% revenue share. SMU reportedly is coming in for free. Their boosters are putting in all of the money to make up lost revenue. So there's going to be a small revenue boost for those existing ACC schools. I'm not sure what that number is because it depends on how well you do in football. Some of that's going to determine how much revenue you get too.
Yeah, and they're getting more money. The conference is getting more money from ESPN from adding teams in the league. But the problem is right now ESPN and some of the carriers are at odds,
yeah,
and the game's not available on TV tonight if you have certain carriers.
Yeah.
Confused?
A little. Before we let you go, though, predictions for tonight's game?
Yeah, I've got Louisville winning the game 28-21. I think Georgia Tech was a much improved team last year. They finished the season strong, beat Pitt and beat North Carolina, but I've got Louisville winning the game by a touchdown. I think Jack Plummer and Jamari Thrash will be the 2 to watch for the Cards.
Yeah, I think Louisville wins. Again, they're favored, 7.5. I don't think they win by more than that, but I look for a close win, maybe 35-31, something like that.